Okay, for this project, we are going to be tracing only using our computer this Among Us character, and this will be practice for basically what we're going to be doing for the rest of this week. Um, I'm going to title it digital art, but we're basically going to be digital tracing using our Google slide. In the future, we'll use those things that we trace once we get good at it, and we'll create animations with that. So hopefully, for people that they don't can't draw or don't have paper or something like that, this will make or give them the ability to make better animations without having extra products. But without anything further, um, I'll have this file saved in Google Classroom for you so that way you can download it yourself. But I'm going to insert it into my Google slide. So, like always, I'm going to go here. That was me searching it. I'm going to open up a new tab, and then I'm going to go to my six dots, go to Google Slide, and open up a blank slide. Remember, that's the one with the plus. It says blank. We got to delete this stuff in here. It's always there every single time. You got to delete it every single time. By now, most people should be like a champion at deleting that. And I always move that over. That's up to you if you do that. And for this, we will most likely gonna have to do the same thing. But again, I will have the Among Us character already saved into Google Classroom, so that way you don't have to find it. So that should save you some. So here it is. Uh-oh, what am I doing? Here it is here. I don't know what's going on. It's like my computer's a little bit slow or something. Come on. There we go. So there it is here. Depending on how fast I do this, I'll do both, but I'll definitely do one. So I don't know if I have time to do both, but the instructions to do both are the same. Before I even get started, I want you to start thinking of, so you can see this black line around it. I want you to start thinking of everything that's here as some type of shape. So the red that makes up the character is a shape. The dark red that makes up his shadow is a shape. The black line again that outlines him, let's just call that a shape. The blue for his, I guess, glass screen or whatever you want to call it is a shape. The reflection, the white is a shape, and then the dark blue is also a shape. Just try to start thinking of things as shapes because that's how we're going to create them. We're going to create everything as shapes. Um, in other programs, we have the ability to make layers. We don't have that here. So you want to think of the order in which you want to create stuff. So when I say the order, so when I'm thinking of this off the top of my head, I'm going to do the red first because that color is all the way in the back. Then maybe I can do the blue because that will sit on top of the red. Then I can do either the dark blue and the dark red. Then I can do the white, and then the black that outlines everything is on top. And that's the last thing I would do. But when we start doing more complex projects like this, you're going to have to look, you're going to have to think about what comes first, second, or third. You do have the ability to change that, but if you start off too too messed up, you can't save yourself. So let's get going. Not saying too much more. For this, I'm going to start with a polyline, and then maybe later on I'll switch it to curve. But for right now, I'm going to choose polyline. Let's not forget that polyline is found in the line tool, but it's the little arrow that says select line when you go on it. And then you come down and then you say polyline. Polyline, again, is a tool that gives you the ability to click and then move your arrow or move your cursor and then click again to make your own type of shape. So, and that's why this is good. So let's start with this one. And I'm going to start with the red first. I'm not going to worry about having it outlined good. I just need to have the shape. And when I'm done, the black will border everything and then make it look a little bit better. So I'm placing my cursor like in the center of the black. I'm not worried about the shape being perfect. I'm worried about just getting the shape, like around the shape. I want to go to the edge of the shape. I don't have to worry about it being a perfect rendition of the shape that I'm trying to get. Like I don't have to have it look like exactly like his legs. I just need to go around where that color would be. And the color I'm talking about is red. So that's the first one. I can change this red now. I'll change it to this red. Just to make it easier, I'm gonna take the border color off. Remember, that's the pencil. So that's all I needed to do for that. So the problem here now is that it's in the way. So because it's in the way, we have to make this transparent also. So that's going to be another problem later on. But for right now, let's leave it like that. I will put the border color red so I remember that there's red there. I know I just turned it off and then turned it back on, but I need a way to remember what I just did and where it is. So now I can see that I have that red border there because that part is where I colored red. Now I'm going to do his mask or the glass shield section. I'm going back to the polyline. And again, I don't need it to be a perfect circle. I'll worry about it being nicer later, some other time. So that's that one. And I'll take the color off and put it on transparent, but I'm going to try to find a blue that's similar for the border so that way I remember. Then I'm going to do his dark red next. And for this one, because there isn't a black that can cover this up, I'm going to switch over to the curve tool. So I'm going to do curve. Curve is the same as polyline, but it just gives you a rounder shape. Has its pluses and negatives too. So because I don't have black to cover up my rough edges, like this is a rough edge, how it's all jagged like this, I want it to be smooth, at least right here. Any place where I can have the black cover it, I don't have to worry about it being smooth, but right here, I definitely need it to be smooth. So that's why I have the curve tool. So I clicked and it's going to mess up. That's okay. Let me stop that and get it again. And this time I'll do this a little bit different. I'll click down here, then I'll click up. Then it's going to try to give me a better line here. It's not, but okay. I'll just have to stop in the middle. There we go. That's a little bit better. That's not exactly what I want. And remember, it's not really ever going to be exactly what you want. This program is not designed to do a lot of the things that we're making it do. But we can get a lot done even though it's not designed for this. So now that I'm where the black is at, I can cheat a little bit and not worry about how the shape looks or how nice it is. I can just get it there because I know the black will cover this up later. So bam, that's the dark red. So transparent for this, and now I'll switch this to dark red. That's going to be my dark red color. That's fine. Then I'll do his helmet. Back to curve. And I'm taking my time, but I am moving the cursor. That's going to be the most annoying part with this, making sure you move far enough away from where you started so that you don't, and I need a dark blue, so that way it doesn't mess up for you. When it messes up, it's like the worst thing in the world because you have to start over. For the little shield color or the light shining color, I'm just gonna get a circle for that. I'm not gonna waste my time trying to make a circle when I can just, it the computer just makes one for me, so I don't need to do that. And I'll use the little circle piece and turn it on the angle. And if it doesn't look like super nice, that's fine because it's just a little reflection of light. So it doesn't need to look like amazing. I can leave that like that. And now we're going to do the black. So this is where I was saying you want to think of this as a shape itself. So I'm not going to draw a line and then make it bigger or smaller. The line that I make, I'm going to make it with shapes. So I think the curve tool is going to do best for this, but I might need to switch because the curve tool is only going to do round shapes, but we'll see how far I get. All right, so I'll just start in an easier section. And then also for this, I'm going to go to this magnifying glass. This is going to give me the ability to zoom in like that. The problem here is we are not going to be able to move the way we really need to in some points, but let's see what we get. So I'll start here. And then you see now I can move in less space. That gives me more ability to make smaller changes. And I'm just going to make this line. So here's the first problem right here. So now I have to, hopefully this works. And yeah, it's good. Okay. So now I'm looking for it to be perfect because this black that I'm putting on here needs to look, this is going to hold everything in or cover all the other stuff that I did fast up. So, you can be lazy on the beginning, but for this, you have to go and take your time. And this will always be the harder part. That's okay, but you're just going to have to be willing to take your time. All right, so right here, I'm going to make my turn and come back. And hopefully you can start seeing what I'm doing here. So I'm just drawing, or I'm encapsulating, I guess that's a good word for this, the black line. The black line is not a black line. It is a shape. It is a shape that I'm outlining right now. All right, I'm not going to go to his backpack. I mean, that's an option that's going to be up to you when you do it. I think it's a little bit more confusing if you do it the other way, but you might see it different than me, and that's okay. We're all going to see things a little bit different. I have a way to do it. You might see it another way, or you could try it another way, and then you're like, wow, that the way Mr. James did it was actually a lot better. All right, so now I'm going to come back, making my way back around, go on a turn, click this button till I'm done. All right, that's a little bit bad, but that's okay. Bam. Then I'm going to switch this to black. That's the first one. That's the only one that I need right now. And then the border color, and keep that to transparent. Then I'm going to do his backpack. and it's going to be pretty much the same. Just take my time. Gotta come down some. And then come back up. Bam, that one is done. Let's get that black on there. Oh, and it kept it the same. Thank you, Google. Thank you, Google Slides, for doing that for me. That doesn't always happen. And now what's last? I have to do the circle for his shield, and that will be done pretty much the same way. Get that curve tool again, or the curve line. And we're gonna go and click. And I'm clicking away, making my way around. So for this one, because it's a circle, it's going to be kind of weird here. We kind of need to almost go to where we started and then turn around. And you see, everything else took no time at all to do, but this is taking a good chunk of time, but that's okay. For this outline, the better we can do it, the better it will be. And now I have to go over top just a little bit and then bring it back and then stop. And I see it's going to mess up just a little bit, but that's okay. So when I say it's going to mess up, it's this one little piece right here. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. You see this little piece, that's going to get on my nerves. But that's not the end of the world. So let's go back. Let's put it on the arrow. And now I'm going to click and change my colors back. I'm going to move this out the way so that way you can see it a little bit better, hopefully. So I'll put them here. So that's the guy I traced. And this is the one I made. So I can see my lines here. So I'm going to go wherever I can kind of see what I'm doing. So I can see that this was my original red color. That was the first one. So I'm going to click it. It's a little messed up there, but that's okay. I can kind of see what's going on. Let me zoom back in. So I went to my magnifying glass. I'm going to zoom in and switch it back to arrow. So I think the problem is the circle here is in the way of me accessing my red. Okay, well, let me just switch to this one just to save time. I'm going to click here. And then I have to switch this, make this the dark red. Bam. I can take the border color off. And maybe I can just click. This should work. So there you go. So that's my original red. So I just clicked in this empty white area and the computer knew what I was doing, which is great. And then click there. See, it's starting to look right. It's a little mess. I see a little mess up right here. That's okay. Now let's come, and I see another mess up, but that's okay too. All right, let's get his mask. I think this is going to be the mask. And I think it's this one. That looks good. No, it's not. Let me change that. Just a little bit darker here. That's a little bit better. And then transparent. Then this part of his mask. Let's get the darker blue. And that looks good. All right, and then this is my character. Let me zoom out. Fit. So that was the original. This is the one I made. I mean, there's things here that aren't the same, but this looks pretty good. So this is a little bit different. That angle of the circle, which, you know, our program won't let us get perfect, you know, good rounded angles like that, that's fine. But this part is really good. His leg is missing a little bit. And then this black part. So we can fix these things. So let's see. Let's come in here. Gotta go and zoom back in. The black part is the easiest one to fix. So let's do that first. And I zoomed in definitely too far. So let me come back out. Let me do that again. Zoom in. And one more time. Zoom. Okay. And then I'm going to go and get my line. Got the curve line. And I'm just going to go here. Go over top of this section. And I'm just going to make it black. And nobody's ever going to know. It's going to be my secret. There you go. All right, next thing we can do is, can I get over here? I'm going to click on this. And I believe maybe, there you go. So I clicked on it. So I'm going to unclick. So I clicked on the white space here. I click on it again. So it's not selected. So I selected my dark section, right? And now I'm going to, that's double tap. And then it gives me these little bubbles. What I can do with these bubbles is I can just move this over. Bam, and it fixed it. Easy peasy. So let me zoom back out so you can see them. Fit. And put it on the select or the arrow. And now I'm done. So for the future, if I have something like this and I had multiple frames of it, or if this was like a drawing that I had, I can then use this to make really clean animations. I think there's the biggest problem would be with making the really clean animations this way is just time, which is tough, but it's a better end product without using paper or anything like that. And even some of you guys that don't have or don't believe you have good drawings, you can make them a lot better doing it this way. So that's it for this one. You should be have an Among Us character at the end of that. Also, I'm going to add in there, hold on, before I say I'm done, I'm going to click and hold and make this big box, let go. And always for something like this, you want to go to arrange and then group it. So now that I have my shape, I can put it wherever without it falling all apart. All right, that's it for this one. That is extra, and we'll be working on these for the rest of the week. We'll work on it. We'll do some simple stuff, and then we'll do something a little bit more complex. But that is it. And have a good day and be excellent.